I would be shocked if they utilize this perfect opportunity. So, with that said, here's the fake one we came up with. And I was going to name it Reptar, which is a combination of the word Reaper from the Carolina Reaper Pepper and the word reptile. But I just realized that the old cartoon Rugrats is a dinosaur named Reptar. So, I'm not sure if it would work out. Now, with our Reptar, I think this Pokemon would be a final evolution of a 3-stage line. And I think it'd be perfect at the first stage of a Route 1 Pokemon. Because just imagine, you're starting Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and one of the first Pokemon you encounter is a cute little green pepper Pokemon. And then throughout your journey going through Spain, you evolve into this awesome hot chili pepper Pokemon. I just think that would be so fun. And as for his stats, I think it'd definitely be an offensive attacker, with probably the ability Flame Body. Because when you eat a hot chili pepper, your mouth do get burnt though. And as for his signature move, maybe you can have the move Heat Wave. Because again, when you eat a hot chili pepper, heat does come in waves. Next, we have the Steel Poison type, and this one is kind of contradictory, because how could a Steel-type Pokemon also be poisonous? Well, we came up with the perfect solution, and shout out to the Help Squad from the Dobbs Nation Discord server for suggesting it. What if the first Steel Poison-type Pokemon was an old metallic toy that had rusted throughout the years? Well, meet Tintin, the 1950s Japanese space toy that came to life 50 years later. And man, I absolutely love this concept. While researching for this video, I discovered an entire genre of toys that are popular in Japan in the 1950s to 1960s, and a lot of them consist of robot-like toys made of metal. Like, look at this one, it's literally shooting laser beams out of his eyes. Or even this one, it just looks like a Frankenstein-type robot. These toys just look so cool, and if I was raised during the 1950s and 60s, I would have been all over these. So with Tintin, its poisonous type came from the rust it had developed from many years it was laying around. And of course, it was originally a steel type when it was first made. So it's basically a steel type Banette. It was first made as a toy, and then later became a real-life Pokemon, which is a common theme we see in the Pokemon universe. Next up, we have the Fire Fairy type, and I immediately thought this type combo would be perfect for a Pixie Fireball Pokemon, because just recently I saw the animated film House Moving Castle, and there's this character named Calcifer, and what's so cool about Calcifer is that it's a fire demon that falls from the sky, and with these fire demons, as soon as they hit the ground, they extinguish. But if someone happens to catch one of them before that happens, they can then bind a contract where the fire demon lives, and the person who caught them gains magical powers. So I thought our Fakemon could be just like that. So here's how. The first Fire Fairy type Pokemon. And just like with Calcifer, House comes from the sky as well, and can only survive if a trainer catches them before they hit the ground. So just imagine, a meteor ball of fireballs coming from the sky, and you're just trying to hit one of them with a Pokeball to catch one. I just think that'd be such a fun way to catch a rare Pokemon, especially if it turns out to be a shiny. And once you catch one of them, they become extremely useful, because just like with Rotom, House are extremely malleable. They can heat up a pan to cook some eggs, or even a fireplace to keep you warm, or heat up something as big as a hot air balloon. So they're quite the Pokemon to have. And finally, to keep the flavor with this Pokemon, I think the first move they would learn would be Wish. Because after all, they are demons and love making contracts. Next, we have the normal Ice type, and the Pokemon we came up with is based on a hilarious real-life animal. Now, if you've never heard of them, there are rodents in Norway called the Norway Lemming. And there's a popular misconception with these lemmings that they're driven to commit mass unlifing themselves when they migrate by jumping off cliffs. And it's not deliberately, but rather a result of their migratory behavior. They basically just do a trust fall when they see their packs jumping off. So these animals are pretty wild. So here's Lemon, the lemming Pokemon. And as you can tell, it looks pretty worried because it's eager to find its pack and migrate somewhere. Lemon is an ice type because the animal they're based on only live in the Baltic Shield, which is occupied by Finland, Sweden, and Norway. And I thought it'd be funny if we gave Lemon a new ability called Ticking Time Bomb, which gives a 25% chance to randomly self-destruct before attacking. Oh, and one of the first moves it learns is Final Gambit, so this Pokemon is pretty crazy. So if I could sum up Lemon in one word, I would say unhinged, because this Pokemon can self-destruct at any minute, quite literally. Next, we have the type combination that we should have seen back in the very first generation. Because if you didn't know, back in Generation 1, Raichu was actually given an evolution named Gorochu. And according to Game Freak, the only reason why the idea was scrapped is because of the limitations they had with the game's data. So, in order to save some space, they went back and changed Pokemon that had originally evolved twice and making them only evolve once. So, unfortunately for us, Gorochu was scrapped, along with countless other Pokemon that would have evolved twice. But if that would have never happened and Gorochu survived the Purge, I think it would have been the first electric fighting type Pokemon. Because according to Game Freak again, Gorochu had fangs and horns and looked like a god of thunder. And that sounds like a Pokemon that would have had two types instead of one. So
Can
here's
this
our
add
reimagined
some
Grochu,
shadowing?
which is inspired by the scrap
Color
back sprite from Generation
red.
1. And as you can see, it is a fierce-looking mouse, and definitely has some godlike look to it. And what makes it a fighting type is that it uses its tail to club its opponents with, and of course it uses its fists as well. And I think upon evolution, it would have learned Thunder Punch and Double Kick, and then in later levels, it learned Thunder and Submission, making this a pretty rewarding Pokemon, especially if it required you to train a Raichu in order to get one. Next, we have the Bug Dragon type, and I'm still shocked this type combination still hasn't been used yet, especially since both the Bug and Dragon typings have been around since Generation 1. So after 25 years of waiting, I decided to make my own Bug Dragon type Pokemon. So meet Dragoon, the prehistoric Dragon Bug Pokemon. And I would say there's a difference between prehistoric and ancient Pokemon, because in the latest TCG expansion, Lost Abyss, there's an Aerodactyl card that takes place from ancient time where you can clearly see a Tropius. So that means there are other Pokemon like Relicanth that have been around for eons and haven't really changed much throughout the millions of years. And I think Dragoon fits in that category pretty well. And on top of being a prehistoric Pokemon, I think Dragoon will fit well as a pseudo-legendary, because pseudo-legendaries tend to be the first among their type combination, and on top of that, as you can see, a lot of them are Dragon type. And that's probably because the Dragon typing is known to be a legendary typing. I swear they said that in the anime somewhere. Along with that, I think Dragoon will be the final evolution of a 3-stage Pokemon. But I didn't get Archimation for the first 2 stages, so if you want to draw it yourself, be sure to tweet me at Ethan Dobbs. But yeah, I love the design of this Pokemon. It really gives me Generation 1 vibes from it being a fat-looking monster.
Yeah.
Next, we have the normal bug type, and the Pokemon we came up with is definitely one of my favorites. So meet Balug, the first normal bug type Pokemon. And when I was brainstorming on what we could do for a normal Pokemon that has the bug typing, I took some inspiration from Parasect, which is a bug that's infested with parasites. So with Balug, it's a normal bear, but what makes it a bug type is that it's infested with fleas. And as you can see, it has scratch marks all over it because it is very itchy. And props to you if you notice it, but yes, this Pokemon is based on Baloo from Jungle Book, one of my favorite Disney movies. And in that movie, during the song Bare Necessities, Baloo scratches his back on a palm tree. And as you can tell, he is enjoying it a lot, so that is what inspired me for Baloo. And with that, I think it'd be fun to Baloo had a new ability where if a Pokemon makes physical contact with it, they adopt the infestation status, which takes 1/8 of the target's maximum HP because it's infested with bugs. And I also think it'd be fun if Baloo had bug-type moves like Bug Bite and Quiver Dance, along with normal-type moves like Crush Claw and Thrash. I just think all around Baloo would be such a fun Pokemon, especially seeing it itch itself in like a dancing motion in this idle animation.
CT. Yeah, CT.
Next, we have the Bug Dark type, and to this day, I am shocked this type combination still hasn't been used yet, because these two types go together like peanut butter and jelly, or in Pokemon terms, like grass and poison. So I really wanted our Pokemon to represent this typing well. So meet Luneevil, the first Bug Dark type Pokemon. And I think the artist, Pokemon trainer Adam, killed it with the design. As you can see, Luneevil definitely has a sinister look to it. And that's exactly what I wanted, since the Dark typing is the evil type in Japan. I think its fur looking like a skull and also having a glare pattern in its wings are brilliant touches. And I guess canonically, this would be the only evil bug type Pokemon to exist. So I couldn't imagine humans messing with this Pokemon as well. And if you're wondering, the design is based on a Lunamoth, a really pretty moth that has white fur and beautiful wings. And it's also known as the American Moon Moth, so it fits well with the Dark type. And before you say it, I know, a Black Widow probably would have fit better as the first Bug Dark type Pokemon. But I think that is too expected, and I couldn't see Game Freak doing that. And really, I can't think of any creative designs that could go along with a Black Widow, because at that point, they should have just made Ariados a Dark type Pokemon. It would have fitted better anyways. But yeah, I am really satisfied with Luneevil. It came out awesome. Next, we have the Rock Ghost type, and this is a type that I've wanted for a while now. And I'm pretty sure at one point I drew a Rock Ghost type Fakemon, but I have to go back and find out my old computer or something. But yeah, that old drawing I did is part of the idea for Goldstone, the Rock Ghost type Pokemon I commissioned. And as you can see, it is a possessed tombstone that is floating with some earth attached to it. And if you look at the bottom of it, you can actually see leftover bones from a deceased being that was buried with the tombstone. I wonder which human or Pokemon that was. And what's really cool about Goldstone is that it'd be a one-of-a-kind Pokemon, because the Ghost type has been paired up with every typing except for the Rock type. So